profitable for the founder, but sometimes investors lose money, right? And so I think it's the truth we have to deal with and confront now. It's not successful until $1 goes into those.
Thank you for that. Just to build on that, highly, from an international perspective, what is the biggest misunderstanding foreign capital still has on building and scaling in Africa?
I'm going to answer this question with a lot of humility because yes, Riga is an international fund, but I think that we've been very conscious of the fact that we needed to have local context. The team that's on the ground, has built in Africa and understands the local context. I'd say the first misconception that an international investor can make is believing that because it was successful in other markets, that they can copy and paste that. They should compare, we saw this in the US, we saw this in Europe, we saw this in the UK, and that therefore it's not going to work, it's going to work. I think that's also using proxies that are biased against certain founders. I'm going to give an example is, these evaluations that most founders don't talk from the business and sometimes understand, that safes and what that does is killing the ecosystem as a whole. It's actually really important to be able to go to the people on the ground, the likes of venture platform, the likes of eCapital that have been here from the beginning, angel investing for years ago, it's very silent and we come up now. I think we really have to speak to them, understand what they call AT, so we will repeat the mistakes that we've probably made, and then as we move to the whole, we will be, partners.
Thank you so much for that perspective. Olu, from how does that misunderstanding show up on the ground with the founders that you work with?
I think two of the most imminent examples that you see is not understanding what is decided, not understanding and I cannot really blame investors in other people's markets. These two things are very, very important. For example, if you sell a product that someone who never bought in parts of the world should be before, you are selling to totally
that is more important to me than where you went to school. Just your ability to just reinvent yourself and find ways out of situations. 99% of people just say, what, we're done with this. I have a family, I have to take care of them. We just don't get a nice pay job.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask one more question and then I'll open it up for the audience. And this one is quick take, less than 1 minute, please. Limited exits remains one of the biggest challenges or bottleneck for ventures in Africa. Do you think this problem is with the markets, the model, or the mindset? And how do we fix it? Maybe Heidi, you can go first.
I think I want to start bouncing off what you said earlier on. Exits, it depends if you're talking about exits for founders or the investor, or what type of investor, right? An angel investor, you can make money in seconds. If you're a fund that believes or report that they're investing in a company that has to return that fund, right? You then have to start thinking at the available capital that comes into the continent to buy that, right? And it's a mathematical equation to solve. The bigger the fund, the harder to return. And I think that as an ecosystem, we have to be humble to recognize that we're still in our infancy stage. We like to compare Silicon Valley, etc. We're still babies, and we're expected to be like teenagers. So I think we need to think from day one about small exits. I always say for me, the perfect type of exit is, what pays that bid. If every single fund, you have 2 years of companies that sold for north of 100 million,